Once again, everybody, welcome to Bird Law, where we talk about ostrich. Why are they so big? Why do they put their heads in the dirt? And even if that's not true, why do we believe it? Why can't they fly? Yeah, it would be terrifying. They might have the potential to take over the world, but I like to believe that it would be worth it. Anyway, today we'll be talking about Conqueror's Haki, more specifically, Advanced Conqueror's Haki. And what sprung this video on is chapter 1010. So spoilers ahead for anybody who has read chapter 1010 and chapter 1 through 1010, because I don't really know what I'm going to be saying. So in chapter 1010, Luffy mentions the fact that he's catching on to what Kaido's doing, something about coding himself in Conqueror's Haki. And so I felt like that's answered a whole lot of questions, especially in the past couple hundred chapters, and it's also brought up a whole lot of other questions that I want to run through today, and also want to give my insight onto how I felt about the chapter and how the community as a whole may have taken it. But with that being said, let's get to it. So, quick overview of the last two chapters, at least the chapters with Luffy, Zoro, Kid, Law, and Killer. On top of Onigashima, they're fighting Big Mom and Kaido, and it's not going too well. 2 chapters ago, Big Mom and Kaido both did a simultaneous attack, a Haki, and Zoro jumped in, probably blocked it for 0.5 seconds, which is really impressive because it may be the strongest attack that we've ever seen in this series. And no one died yet. We will see what happens, but they decided to try and separate the Yonko. Everybody except for Luffy went to fight Big Mom, and they did a pretty good job. They knocked her off in the end and had her falling down into the waters of Onigashima, where Luffy was fighting Kaido. And he did some pretty impressive stuff. Like, he tried to hit Kaido, and Kaido dodged it, and Luffy smiled and said, like, oh, you dodged it, because usually Kaido would just take that hit head on. And then we see Luffy just get absolutely wrecked. And we didn't know how bad the wreckage was until we got to chapter 1010. So in chapter 1010, Big Mom is still falling down. Kid and Killer go after her. Zoro is very much injured. Everything's broken in his body. I really don't understand how my man's is standing up. Law is trying to keep him up and keep him alive, because Zoro's like, hey man, I can't do anything else, so I have to give it my all. And me giving it my all is probably going to get me killed. They both fight Kaido for a little bit because Kaido's trying to kill Luffy. He's a bit done. I guess Luffy really scared him or startled him a little bit, or maybe he's had his fun. So Kid and Zoro both get good shots on Kaido, especially Zoro. But Law gets an ejection shot, and Kaido admits that Law's abilities are difficult to deal with, and Zoro actually hits Kaido with a slash, and Kaido gives him credit that this is gonna leave a scar, and that Zoro should be proud of that. And then we get to the end where we think that everything's lost, but not really, because that's just shonen. But Luffy stands up, and he's behind Kaido, and his eyes were in the back of his head. The whole white eyes thing that they do when someone's unconscious. And he's talking to Kaido, and that's when he says, like, I know what you've been doing. You've been coding yourself in Conqueror's Haki. And then Kaido admits, like, yeah, but only a select few people can actually do this. And Luffy blocks Kaido's, I think it's Kanumbo or something like that. I don't know. The thing, his big mallet or weapon, I got nothing. He blocks it without actually touching it, which Law's like, what? Luffy, your dick's so big. I don't know. But it's just the same thing that Whitebeard and Roger did in the flashbacks. And I guess we really should have looked at that and said, hey, that's probably foreshadowing to what we're going to see. And it was awesome. It really was awesome. Like pants, cream filled, awesome. But you know, that's the overview. Uh, this explains a lot, and that's really what I want to get into. And the biggest thing that it explains is Big Mom and Kaido's durability, especially Big Mom, because we've only seen Big Mom get injured at Whole Cake Island, and it was under emotional distress. And a whole lot of people really thought that it was because of Big Mom's body, but that never made any sense to me. Because why would emotional distress allow her physical body to be injured? So a lot of people thought it was armament Haki, and so did I. But armament Haki didn't make a whole lot of sense because in the flashbacks we don't see her using armament Haki. So I thought like maybe in advanced armament Haki, well, excuse me, my bad. In advanced armament Haki, that maybe you didn't see it, and maybe Oda was trying to go back to what was happening in Marineford, but that was just me shooting at straws or grasping at straws. Why would I shoot at straws? But now that we know about Conqueror's Haki or Advanced Conqueror's Haki, being able to coach yourself in Haki, and seemingly no one seems to notice. So that's what Big Mom has been doing, and that would explain why, when she was, under distress, that she could actually be injured, because it's reminiscent of what Katakuri had to do when he was using advanced observation Haki. Like he had to have his wits about him the entire time. So maybe that's the same way that Conqueror's Haki works, and it would also explain Kaido, because he's only taken a little bit of damage, and some of the damage he took came from the Red Scabbards, who are nothing compared to Kaido in any way, shape, or form. But the fact that when he saw the Scabbards and he felt Odin's presence, it messed with him mentally so much so that they were actually able to damage him. And you can't see me, but I'm doing quotations because it really didn't do anything. So much so that he didn't even really. He doesn't. He only. Oh, wow, that was a blunder right there. But Kaido's been stating when someone actually does real damage to him. He gives people credit and then tries to kill them right afterwards. But just figuring this out was dope, and it does make me wonder if we're ever actually going to get advanced armament Haki, if that's ever going to come back. Maybe that's something that Shanks had. A lot of people thought that Shanks was going to be the advanced Conqueror's Haki user. I'm actually glad that it's not just Shanks, and that advanced Conqueror's Haki is like such a big deal, and it really does explain a lot. I also want to go over the fact that I love this fucking chapter. This chapter was absolutely amazing, and not just from the information we got. It was like visually, the fight was amazing. I love the rough sketch artwork that Oda did, and it really got the point across about like what was going down in this fight. So I loved it. And then that leads me to, I know a lot of people aren't actually going to like this chapter. I think the community is going to be a little bit split. And the reason I say that, I think about people like Mr. Merge, who didn't believe that Luffy would be able to fight a Yonko 1v1, or at least he hoped that Luffy wouldn't be able to fight a Yonko 1v1. And if Luffy was able to do it, it would be like an ass pull type situation. And I'm not here trying to jerk Luffy off or anything, but I never felt that to be the case, because Luffy has been showing so much growth throughout the New World, and we saw that in his fight with Doflamingo, but mostly in his fight with Katakuri, we've seen the fact that Luffy's able to learn very quickly, and then we also saw it in the Udon prison. So I wasn't surprised by this, and another reason why is that after seeing Luffy fight Doflamingo and seeing him split, Dressrosa in half, not literally, he didn't actually split an island in half, but we did see Zoro cut a mountain, and Luffy's got to be relative to that. So strength, in my opinion, wasn't the problem. Like, again, we saw Luffy clash with Big Mom, and she already been hockeyed up. We've seen her get tossed around. So again, strength couldn't be the dominant factor here. So now we know about Conqueror's Haki. So it wasn't strength that kept Luffy from being able to hurt the Yonko. He just lacked the ability to hurt them because they had something protecting them that he just couldn't see and he couldn't get through, which is raw strength. So this is dope. This is really dope. And, a lot of people might, still hate this, even, figuring everything out like what I just said. But you have to look at the fact that, like, Luffy was, so Big Mom's not the fastest. Luffy was able to keep up with her. She's quick. Duh. I mean, obviously, she's a Yonko. Even in her big size, she's quick. But she wasn't doing what Kaido was doing. Kaido's been speed blitzing Luffy and some of the others like he was freaking Bullet. So Luffy had to use advanced observation Haki to get around that for the most part. So we realized that, Haki is like the end all be all of this series, kinda, and I'm gonna get into the reason why I don't think it really is, but also, again, it kind of is. Devil's advocate, I don't know, but I want to talk about what this means going forward. And for one thing, I don't see Luffy actually being on par with the Yonko just yet. And the reason why I say that, I think Luffy still has like a step to go to actually get there. And that step is being able to freely use Conqueror's Haki. And a lot of people should probably be aware of that. But I don't really mean in being able to deal damage. I think Luffy with a King Kong gun, advanced Conqueror's Haki, in his fist, that's laying anybody out. That's definitely doing damage to anybody. Kaido, Big Mom, like Shanks, God Usopp, anybody. I think the problem with Luffy right now is I don't think that he's able to keep up with the durability of Kaido and Big Mom. Yeah, he can do damage, but I think if he continues to get hit by their attacks, that he's just not going to last in this game. I do think that he used Conqueror's Haki to save himself from the Thunderbagara because he got up way quicker than he did after the first time he got Thunderbagara. Like, and even when Kaido was missing, Luffy was taking damage. But this man got up after what, not too much time could have gone by. Not Luffy, Zoro only got, 2 shots out after Luffy got knocked out. Kid and Killer just jumped off of Onigashima, and Big Mom had enough time to fall down to the water and then get saved. So I think he definitely used Conqueror's Haki to save himself in that situation. I just don't think that he's mastered it yet. And I feel like obviously he hasn't mastered it yet. So yeah, he's just got that one last step to get over. But another thing that I've been thinking about was Blackbeard. So Blackbeard and I would say Akainu, people like them, they don't have the King's Haki. Because not every character has King's Haki, the Conqueror's Haki. So would this make them less of a threat? And I think the answer is no. Talking about Blackbeard first. First of all, I know why he doesn't have Conqueror's Haki, even though when I was trying to look this up and see how the community felt about Blackbeard having Conqueror's Haki, a lot of people seem to think, maybe I say a lot of people just in the forums that I saw, seem to think that Blackbeard would have Conqueror's Haki, but he doesn't actually have the attributes of a Conqueror. He's kind of a punk, so I'm definitely in the realm that he is lacking in the Conqueror's Haki department, observation Haki, armor Haki, of course. But I don't think that Blackbeard necessarily needs Conqueror's Haki or advanced Conqueror's Haki to keep up with any of the other Yonko and pretty soon Luffy, because he has 2 of the strongest Devil Fruits. one gives him so much strength that I think he's able to overcome the the durability of a person who's using advanced conqueror's Haki to coat their bodies. You take a quake fist to the face, and that's hurting everybody in this series. But that being said, he also has some of the best durability. Yes, he does feel a whole lot of pain when he gets hit or injured, but it doesn't actually do damage to his person. And speaking of a quake fist to the face, he took one from an enraged Whitebeard, and you could always argue that he was weakened after the war, but I think Whitebeard probably pushed through all that pain, and he wanted to kill Blackbeard. So even if it wasn't full powered, it was damn near close. And Blackbeard was able to walk out of Marineford, and that has got to say something about his durability. And so, speaking of his devil fruit being really strong, in reference to the quake fruit, I kind of he doesn't have Conqueror's Haki, but you saw he was able to do damage against Whitebeard, and I'm not really sure if Whitebeard was able to use Conqueror's Haki. We know he wasn't able to use it to save Ace, but maybe he was using it to code himself. We don't know. Maybe it's just really hard to keep up in old age, or maybe it was because of his sickness and his body just couldn't handle it. This is just stuff that we don't have the information to yet. So we'll see how that goes. But I do actually also wonder what kind of other powerful devil fruits are out there that could overcome Conqueror's Haki coding. Also, last thing is the fact that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki. That's dope. I mean, I've always been in the realm of people who believe that Zoro had Conqueror's Haki. A lot of people believe that you can't have too many people on a crew with Conqueror's Haki because they may be too powerful. But we look at Whitebeard's crew, maybe look at Shank's crew. Oh, maybe not Shank's crew. I do think Beckman does have Conqueror's Haki. We look at Roger's crew, and it's like some of the top crews. Oh, even Big Mom with Katakuri, the strongest crews seem to have multiple people with Conqueror's Haki in them. So that's just a thought right there. But keep updated on the channel. I'm going to be coming out with a video here soon about the dynamic of Luffy, Kid, and Law, and then what I see happening with these guys after Wano, so post Wano. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. Be easy.